I am going to kidnap some people and use them for target practice. But before I tell you more about that, here's some other stuff that's new with the game this week. After playing around with it some more, I decided I'm happy with this style of sword slash effects. The sprites that I'm using for it are still placeholders, and there's still some fancy shaders and whatnot that I want to apply to it to make it look even better, but I think the basic idea looks and feels good. Last week I showed you how I added a little bit of acceleration to the movement of the player to make your initial movement feel smoother, and this week I applied the same effect to the enemies, which had the unintended consequence of making them stop and start whenever they change their behavior. So for example, it happens every time they kick an object at you, which I actually thought looked kinda cool, so I left it for now, but I'll probably fix it later. I spent some time thinking about how I wanted the levels to start. It used to be that every level started you off in a room with no enemies, but then I realized that that doesn't make sense, and I wanted the player to start in an outside area so that the first room you enter would be like you busting into the building through the front door. However, I was concerned that this would require us to spend a bunch of time and money making really big fancy art assets for the outside areas that don't even have any gameplay. So instead I came up with this idea of having just a small outdoor area out front and everything around it blocked out of view. However, our artist Amanda said that she thinks it might be possible to come up with a simple outdoor area that looks good and doesn't distract from the interior areas, so we'll see how that goes. And now, I am going to kidnap some people and use them for target practice. You see, in the opening tutorial of the game, you must demonstrate your skills, and what better way to do that than on a living person? So luckily, one of the game's main characters, who I have yet to reveal, gathers together some volunteers for us here, and I invite you to now enjoy this display of brutality, which features our first proper corpse and dismemberment.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
And that's not all. I have also decided to add a special ability to the game. Just one more mechanic to add an extra touch of decision making and strategizing. I'm thinking you'll have a meter in your UI, and as you go through a level room by room, your meter will begin to fill up. Once it becomes full, you will be able to use the following ability on a room of your choice. This is just a basic implementation, of course, devoid of any proper effects and whatnot, but I think you get the idea. And finally, I added support for multiple floors in the game, and then I ended up spending the majority of the week agonizing over how to make use of this and whether or not I should. So far, every level I've designed has been a single floor that's roughly twice the size of a floor in a game like Hotline Miami. Due to the speed of my game, I think it's more fitting, and I also find that having a longer level makes it feel much more satisfying when you finally beat it, and it raises the tension as you get further into the level. On the other hand, having a second floor or even just an elevated area in general seems like a good idea. I think it'd be good for variety and making things more visually interesting, and I already have an implementation for faking a height effect in 2D by scaling up objects and zooming the camera out. So I've decided to combine both ideas, where levels will all be done in a single run, but they will at least sometimes have areas that involve going up a staircase or something like that. So my main task for next week is to figure out how exactly I want to implement these elevated areas into the game before I get back to designing the remaining levels of the game, and who knows what else I'll end up working on. Over on the art side, Amanda is currently busy replacing our placeholder blood effects with our own blood art, and after that she's going to be replacing the placeholder slash effects with our own slash effects. So I'm looking forward to hopefully showing you guys both of those next week as well. So that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for regular updates on the game, and I'll see you here again next week. Peace.